first, the realization that there are lots of different religions, and they can't all be right. And the Christian one in which I was brought up was clearly only one of many. But that didn't finally make me into an atheist. What finally made me into an atheist was the realization that there was no scientific reason to believe in any sort of supernatural creator. That came with the understanding of Darwinian evolution.
Well, Mr. Dawkins, I would like you to have a look at 4 of the 36 paintings I have of Bob Marley in my single-room studio tiny house, which is constructed from an abandoned water tower just outside Boulder, Colorado. Anyway, if you look at some of my Bob Marley paintings, you will see that they are all different. Each one of them is attempting to express something of the artist's experience of Bob Marley. Maybe some of my paintings are better than others, but it doesn't mean there's not a Bob Marley just because people are experiencing Bob Marley in a variety of ways. Likewise, it doesn't mean that there is no transcendent ultimate reality or God, just because people are experiencing that God in different ways. So the second thing that you said about religious faith was that once you discovered the scientific theories of the origins of the world, you didn't need to believe in God anymore. Well, I just want to point out that many people believe in God and scientific theories on the origin of the world. That is not the sole reason to believe in God. People have faith in God based on their experiences of God, right? God as the transcendent, somehow going beyond the world, but also as God present in the world. So please take these things into consideration, Mr. Dawkins.
There are various senses of faith in which scientists do participate. Those branches of science which I don't understand, for example, physics, it could be said, I suppose, that I have faith that physicists understand it better than I do. And so when I say something that physicists tell me, such as that there was nothing before the Big Bang, you're not allowed to talk about the word before in the context of the Big Bang, I sort of have faith that physicists understand enough to be allowed to say that, even though I don't understand why they're allowed to say that. But it's not faith, it's not blind faith, it's not faith in the absence of evidence. It's faith that's based upon confidence in the scientific method, in the scientific peer review process, the fact that I know that there are other physicists who can test, verify, criticize the views of any one physicist. So it's not the same as religious faith, which is based upon no evidence at all.
Well, Mr. Dawkins, you talk about religious faith as faith in something for which someone has no evidence at all. I do not think that is the way that faith works in most people's lives. I think when we're talking about religious faith, we're talking about the sharing of personal experiences of the transcendent, right, of the ultimate reality in people's lives. So if someone has the experience of the source of being, or if someone has the experience of a love that connects all things, if someone has an experience of a truth, which you seem to have in a certain scientific sense, right, well, they might want to share that with others. So if they share their experience of the transcendent, of the meaning of life, of the source of being, or any of these other ways that people talk about the transcendent ultimate reality in their lives, the people who have had similar experience in some level are going to key into that, right? People whose minds are open to that, or people who have themselves experienced life in a way that those experiences resonate with them, well, they're going to kind of recognize what they're talking about, and therefore believe in it. Right? It's not different. It doesn't seem different from the way that you talk about believing in physics. It fits with your understanding of knowledge in the scientific method, and therefore you're believing in it. Right? Same thing with religious faith. People hear people's experiences, they fit with their own, and therefore they are open to believing in them.
Well, it's certainly true that so many people do have religious faith, not just individual people, not all individual people do, but all cultures. I think I'm right in saying that all peoples, in the plural, have had faith, religious faith of some kind. They believe in some kind of supernatural gods or goddesses or leprechauns or whatever it might be. Why do they have it? Well, I think it's very tempting when you don't really understand what's going on, when you're ignorant of the world, when you find yourself surrounded by a wonderful world, a puzzling world, a mysterious world, a frightening world. It must be quite tempting to put your faith into a supernatural being of some kind.
Well, Mr. Dawkins, excuse me, Dr. Dawkins, I would agree that faith in God does help people experience a peace of mind. But I also, far from helping people deal with an overwhelming mystery of life, I think that faith in God tends to open people up to the mysteriousness of life. And also, as far it doesn't just give people, a peace of mind or some kind of psychological crutch to lean on. It also challenges people to move outside their comfort zone by doing things like serving the poor and loving their enemies. Well, Mr. Dawkins, I have a couple questions for you. Do you believe in truth? Seems like you do, because you spend a lot of time devoting yourself to convincing other people of your version of the truth. Second is, do you believe in love? Well, again, with the time you put in, it seems like you think that this is somehow going to help people to see things the way that you see them. And so I do see some evidence there for your love of humanity. Well, I just want to let you know that's what many religious people are talking about when we're talking about God. We're talking about those experiences of truth, love, and meaning in life. Right? Those things that transcend particular things and pool them together. Again, it doesn't mean that they're experienced separately from the rest of reality. So please open up to what many religious people are experiencing and talking about when they're talking about faith in God. It's not a blind faith like you might have understood religion early in your life. It's a faith that is based on evidence, a faith that is based on personal experience and the authority of others or accounts of others that fit with our own personal experiences, just the same as your faith in science.